Hey there, it's Diane Forster, and welcome to I Have Today, where we talk about the art of intentional living. This show is about inspiring, empowering, and educating you through life's transitions so that you can be living to your highest, greatest, fullest potential. And today I'm very excited about my guest, Lisa Williams, who will be on the show in just a few minutes. She's very talented. Let me just tell you, she's a certified approval addiction coach. I didn't even know this was a thing. That's why I had to have her on the show. But she's also a wealth educator, author, speaker, licensed life and health professional, and America's business matchmaker. She's also an author and has such an incredible story. But I'm gonna wait until she gets on the show with us to share that with you. Now, why I wanted to bring her on is I wanted to talk about this approval addiction thing that I didn't even know was a thing. Like, I understood people pleasing, but I'd never heard of this before. So I'm wondering, are you addicted to approval? Where's this showing up in your life? Well, Lisa's going to talk about this, why she's certified in this, and she's going to share ways on how you can overcome it, deal with it, recognize it, all the things. Now, before we do that, first, let me share with you our intention statement, which is, I have today to approve of myself no matter what others think. I have today to approve of myself no matter what others think. Now, here's the reason why we want to do this, because the only opinion of you that matters is yours, It doesn't matter what other people think. If you feel good about you and you're approving of yourself, your perfect imperfection, the beautiful work of art and work in progress that you are, that's the opinion that matters most. So what I want you to do is I want you to go to my Instagram page at Diane Forster Official, because on my page, there's a little button that says wallpapers. And every week, my amazing team, there's the button right there, creates these gorgeous graphics. So this graphic is already there. And what I want you to do is take a screenshot of it and use that as your screensaver for the next week, so that every time you look at your phone, which is over 1,000 times a week, if you can believe that or not, you're seeing that intention statement. And through the repetition, what starts to happen is you reprogram that subconscious mind. And when you see, I have today to approve of myself, no matter what others think, over and over and over again, you start to believe it. The reticular activating system in your brain is like the Google search bar, and you're putting that information in there, and then it's going to go out of its way to find evidence to prove that that's true, that you will not need the approval of anybody else, and all you need is the approval of you. So make sure that you go there, screenshot it, and while you're over there, give me a follow over there. I'd love for you to follow me there. I'd love to learn more about you. So, all right. So what's happening at I Have Today? Well, let me share something that's happening. We are getting ready to host an event in Los Angeles on 11/11/22. 11/11/22. What a powerful day. We're going to be in Los Angeles at the Sheraton Gateway LAX Hotel for an exclusive event. And this is for you ladies. This is for you women, entrepreneurs, coaches, consultants, experts, business owners who are passionate about what you do. You're committed to helping other and serving other women in the world to help inspire, empower, and educate them with your unique brilliance. And what I'm going to do in this exclusive event is I am going to air my show live in front of a live studio audience for the first time. And I'm going to show you the behind the scenes of what it takes to actually produce a show. I'm going to take you through the pre-production, the production, the post-production. I am holding nothing back. You're going to be able to be there. You're going to be able to ask questions. It's going to be so much fun. And then once the show is over, we're going to spend the rest of the day, and I'm going to help you build the blueprint to your own brilliant, unique, genius show. I'm going to talk about all the ways that television, by being a TV host of your own show, can change your business, the massive impact you can make, the credibility and authority, how it's your instant stage. There's so many benefits and reasons why. I'm going to have special guest experts and celebrities there that day speaking, and they're going to talk to you about the television industry and what content providers and talent scouts are looking for. Because trust me, They are looking for you. They are looking for these hidden gems and diamonds out there. There's so many platforms seeking amazing content. So I'm going to share all of this with you. So if you want to spend the day with me, going behind the scenes, getting all of this amazing information and building that incredible run of show, that brilliant show that's so unique to you, then I invite you to come spend the day with me and other amazing like-minded women. So that is at tvhostmaker.com live. tvhostmaker.com live. So if you want to check it out, go check it out right now. I wanted to share that with you right away because it's happening super quick. It's happening in beautiful Los Angeles, California. There's still time to book your flights. Come on out. Come spend the day with us. You won't regret it. So, all right. So now with that, let me get ready to bring on Lisa Williams, share more with you about her, talk about this approval addiction, as well as the other incredible information that she has to share, her story, how she became this expert, her book, her conversations with oh gosh, I forgot your name of your book, an angel, Conversations with an Angel. She's going to talk all about that as well as other things. She's a beautiful soul and spirit, and she'll be with us right after this commercial from our sponsor. This week's episode of I Have Today is brought to you by the Spifter. The Spifter is a fun sifting spoon that makes cooking, baking, and decorating with sugars and spices so much fun. No more mess or wasting your spices. It's fast, clean, and easy. Everything looks and tastes delicious. It's also great for straining loose tea, getting pesky broken cork out of your wine glass, and draining liquid off food like olives and capers. Whether you're a novice cook or a gourmet chef, you'll love the results. The Spifter, the kitchen gadget that no kitchen should be without. Hello, Lisa Williams.
Hello, my dear. How are you? Good to see you.
It's so good to see you too. I'm so excited to introduce you to our audience and share all of your brilliance with them and your beautiful heart, your beautiful story of all the work that you're doing in the world. And Lisa and I connected not that long ago, and it was an instant like sisterhood connection. And we just knew we were going to be doing things together. When I met her, I said, I need to have you on my show. You're just extraordinary. So before we get into your story, let me share a little bit more with the audience about you. Lisa is a recovered corporate executive who woke up one morning and realized she couldn't remember the last time she had learned something new. She started the mission at Lisa Williams Co. to empower, equip, and inspire 1 million people to hire themselves after the loss of her mom and her best friend Elizabeth in the span of 10 months. Her certainty that God can use all things for good fueled her through her grief and helped open her eyes to the many gifts God still had planned for her life. This loss propelled Lisa to co-author her most recent book, which we're going to talk about, with her angel Elizabeth in Conversations with an Angel. She, as I said earlier, she's a certified approval addiction coach, wealth educator, author, speaker, licensed life and health professional, and America's business matchmaker. She teaches people how the addiction of approval from others holds us back in life, business, and wealth building. By overcoming the addiction, embracing financial education, and gaining the skills to create multiple income streams, we can achieve the time and money freedom we all crave. So powerful, Lisa. Incredible work.
Wow, I haven't heard that bio in a while. Thanks for reminding me. It's
Yes.
crazy when you think about how much life has happened to you and for you, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so true. I want to tell everyone, if you're listening to this on the podcast, you can't see, obviously, but for those of you watching us, behind me, like my location, my set is different. Normally I'm facing the other way. And the reason I'm facing this way today is because I worked on this wall last week. And this is just a quick little story as we get into you and talking about how much life we live, and how much how far we've come. And I did this direction is called my success direction. Thank you to Marie Diamond, who taught me all about feng shui, right? And I knew that. And my daughter gave me that middle shelf, and I had the other ones. And I spent time creating the wall of success. And it wasn't to be bragging or egotistical. It was to do just that, to sort of take a look at how much I've done, how much I've accomplished, how many lives I've helped, how I've lived in service, and how I used my pain to do what I'm doing now. And so and I wanted it to be behind me because I don't want to live there. I want it there as a reflection of my past, of how far I've come, knowing that there's so much more for me to achieve. And so I'm sharing that with you because I know that you have also taken pain, experience, wisdom, the things that have happened in your life as a recovered corporate executive, the loss of two main people in your life, and look at how you've catapulted this and used those experiences to be doing what you're doing and helping so many others. So I'm honoring you for that. And so I just wanted to share that because I know that we're so on the same page in being mission driven. So
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. So talk about what happened. I want you to, go to either one of the stories first, either the recovering corporate executive or the story about losing your mom and your best friend, Elizabeth. Where do you want to start?
Yeah, I think that the recovered corporate executive is a good start because
Okay.
that's actually they happened very, very close together. But I guess the first question I'll ask Diane is, did you ever take that class? What am I supposed to be when I grow up? Did that class get on your list in high school?
Right, exactly.
Every person, none of us took that class. And just like most people, I very accidentally landed in my career. I was a headhunter in a very crazy industry, financial services and technology for a couple of decades. And I absolutely loved it. I was one of the lucky ones that sort of tripped into my career, but absolutely loved it. Had such an amazing blessing to, you know, headhunters, we walk with people in times of triumph when they're looking for something new and they get it and we help them and we celebrate. Also times of real difficulty when they've lost their career, they've been laid off, what have you. And
Mm,
it's an amazing opportunity to impact lives, right?
yes.
However, I hadn't really continued to pursue perhaps what my calling was. I was on a hamster wheel of life, had these golden handcuffs, paid very well, and had stopped learning. Actually, I think you asked the question, have you ever stayed somewhere maybe longer in a chapter of your life than you should have? Right? Raise of hands for those that have done that. I probably
Yes.
was, yeah, I probably was in corporate America a couple years longer than I should have been. I
How
was
many years?
27
Yeah.
years total. Yeah. Diane, were you ever in corporate or did you, were you
32
old?
years.
Okay. So you hear me. You hear
I
me.
hear you loud and clear. And when you're saying that it was a long time since I learned anything, oh my gosh, me too. Me
Right?
too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and it's funny because I had 19, my last firm I was with, I had 19 bosses in the 23 years there.
Oh my
And
goodness.
this last one, it's funny because I was telling you, we just celebrated my husband's 50th birthday this past weekend. And there were a lot of people there from our previous lives because I met my husband at work, like many people do. And it was so interesting how my chapter has just been so rich and different since I left corporate. And the people that I saw this past weekend, I love them, amazing, and yet there were a lot of the same kind of conversations. It was almost like they were stuck back 5 years. Does that make sense? kind of like those conversations from people you see from high school that are still reliving the last football game that they played in, right? Um, so when I started to explore new things, I knew that I could retire from corporate. I knew that I was planning that exit. I knew that I was going to do something else. I didn't know what. And I started interviewing people that I was interested in what they do. I interviewed coaches. I interviewed some people in ministry. I'm a psych major. I interviewed some counselors. I'm used to making really, really good money. So that was a big factor for me. I wanted to continue to build, my legacy for my family. And I even looked at some franchises. I said yes to so many things and learned so much about myself. But also during that same time, started very, very small side gig. In the space of financial education. I've always been fascinated about investing, and
Okay.
I've always been a good investor. And it's how I actually was able to be ready to retire at 47 because of that interest. And at the same time, my mother got very sick. My mom was diagnosed with a terminal brain tumor. And I just remember so vividly this moment. I was going home to Alaska. I'm from Alaska, to see
Wow.
my mom, and I had just been put on a plan by my new boss in my corporate world. I had worked 20 years. For 20 years, I had worked remotely, and this new boss decided he needed me to start coming into the office. Okay. And I just told him I didn't think that was going to work for me, but let's keep discussing. And he told me he needed to put me on a plan. So it was just so interesting how it, this chapter in life that could have been so difficult. I mean, really, it was time for the young blood to come in and the old blood to get out. I call it more ageism than anything. I don't want to, or
Yes.
maybe experiencism would be a better word, Um,
Yeah, and your soul and spirit, and your reason for being here. To sometimes we get pushed out and moved, and it doesn't look like it looks like something bad is happening, but we know something. We now know it just means something more wonderful is coming. So yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I was on a layover in Seattle, and I called my husband and I said, "Babe, I guess I just decided I'm not going back." And I ended up going on a leave of absence to care for my mom, and just never ended up going back. I retired from corporate, and wasn't really totally sure what I was going to do, actually, but I knew there was a lot of amazing options available. So that's kind of the long and the short of it
Wow.
for that part. We can, if you have some questions, or I can
No,
jump into how the
I just
conversations.
Yeah, I just want to make one point for everybody, because you did similar what I did, except you did it. I slightly planned, not really. I leaped too. I left no net, and so I love that you did that too. You just knew. And so many people stay stuck because they're so afraid of, it's for lack of a better expression, it's the devil you know versus the devil you don't know. You think something bad and horrible is going to happen. And so you stay stuck in the familiar, even though you're not happy. So I just want to give you props and flowers and kudos for taking that leap, which is so powerful. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Scary, but powerful. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So then what happened next?
Well, in that, there was a 10-month span that my mom battled cancer, and she did end up passing away in April of 2019. And I ended up coming away from my corporate career and really just taking a pause and trying to decide what was next. And I had already been really getting involved in this world of self-development and self-improvement. This was very, very new to me, and I I became sort of a junkie, if you will. I started going to a lot of conferences. And during the time that my mom had been sick, my best friend had already been battling cancer for 3 years. And so then a year after mom passed, Elizabeth passed. And in that year, I will tell you, there were a lot of things that happened for me. One, I was surrounded by a new community of people. There is something extra special, Diane, don't you agree, about the world that we live in? You know, the people
Yes.
that are, I like to call it, we've hired ourselves. We've stepped into what I call our God-gifted greatness. We've been brave enough to really seek what lights us up, what's our calling in life, right? And it is an incredible world. It's an incredible world of giving, just good-hearted, such abundant thinkers like you, Diane. I mean, the minute you and I spoke for the first time, we couldn't even remember how we had connected, but I just remember it was a vibrational exchange of ideas and information. And
Yes.
it's a very exciting environment to be in. And so, a picture, you're going through tremendous loss, and yet you're also surrounded by people that really believe that every challenge we can pursue through it, and we can learn from it, and we can get better, and we can
Yeah.
grow. And so
Yeah.
looking at loss through a very, very different lens that I think most people do, right? Elizabeth was a woman that I met actually through another tragedy in my life. I didn't even
Okay.
talk about this with you. I was 19 years ago, I was a single mom. I had a
Okay.
3-month-old and a 3-year-old. And I was seeking a new community. And Elizabeth was hosting a single parent Bible study at her house. And a friend of a friend connected us, and I started going to her Bible study. And she became my the sister that I never had, just a soul sister in life. And we both had these crazy blended families. We both fell in love again. We both got married again. We had these crazy blended families. And then she got sick. Well, when she passed away, there was a lot that was left undone with her. She and I had always talked about writing a book. For example, we thought it was going to be about our crazy book club, because we have this really crazy book club that every possible thing in life has happened to.
Right.
But when she passed, I decided I'm going to write this, and she's the co-author with me. She was right next to me writing it. And it's a story about a woman that loses her best friend, and her best friend starts to visit her as an angel, and they get to visit for the rest of their lives. And she gets to
That
ask her angel questions about life and heaven, and just what's gonna happen next. And it's a fun little story. I hope, my prayer for the book is that it can share with people that the next chapter after loss can be incredible, that it's about friendship, and it's also about our own personal faith journey, whatever that is for us, whatever you believe. I hope you have your own personal faith journey, and it's worth exploring.
Yeah, that is so beautiful. Now, these stories that you've written, because I haven't read it yet, but I'm going to read the book. And in fact, we're gonna post a link for it, and maybe the team can do that now, so we can let the audience know where to find it. And it's Conversations with an Angel. So, did you have some of the stories happened already, or have all the stories happened, or did you write your future and you're manifesting and bringing
Love that
your story to
question.
life?
Yeah, love that question.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
is, it's very much based on true events, and it
Okay.
is a combination of things that have already happened and things that are yet to happen. So I love what you said. It's the manifestation of what's to come, right? And it
So
was such an interesting time writing this book because I did a lot of research. In fact, I had over 100 people that contributed in terms of because I asked people, if you had a visit from heaven, what would you ask them? And so in this, the book is based on what other people would ask and their
yes.
experiences. And it was a really fun labor of love. It was an honor for Elizabeth. She was a woman of an incredible faith, personal faith, as was my mom. And it gives me a lot of comfort, in their faith journey as well. So it's a fun book. And I love it when people ask me which part's true. Well, you know what? First you got to read it and then maybe we can have a conversation about it.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to read it, and I'm excited to read it because I'm going to say it's all true, because some of it may have happened already. The rest is yet
There
to
you go.
come.
Yeah, exactly.
And I love the energy, all the energy around that. My mom, I don't know how long ago. How long ago did they both pass?
Mom was 2019 and Elizabeth was 2020, right before COVID
So
hit.
fairly recently. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Well, my mom's been gone for, we just had the 26-year anniversary, and she's totally in the room. I feel her.
Oh,
And she was 53 years young when she passed, and she had cancer, and she passed away. And the month after she passed away, the month after she passed away, I got pregnant.
oh, yeah.
Um, hang on one second. I just got to pop up here. Let me move it. And so the reason I know that I got pregnant the month after she passed away is because I was dealing with fertility issues, and had been for a couple of years. And I was going through her cancer journey and helping her. I lived in Chicago at the time. She was in LA. So flying back and forth, I had just started. I went from working at CBS to ABC. So new environment. And I was going through fertility issues, and was in and out of doctor's office and shots and, all kinds of things. I wanted so desperately for my mom to see me as a mom. And of course that didn't happen. And the moment she crossed, I got pregnant the next month
Isn't that
with
beautiful?
twins, my son and daughter. So, and you talk about those next chapters. What a bittersweet experience for me, because I was mourning the loss of her, but now had this beautiful thing to be excited about. And so
Yeah.
she is my angel too. And only in the last couple of years, I have felt her before, but now I see her. I mean, I hear her all the time, but I actually see her,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is so wild.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah. Isn't it
sometimes,
amazing how, that it's just such a comfort, right?
yeah,
I have so many moments where I want to pick up the phone and call both of them. And there's also been beautiful, beautiful new relationships that have evolved because of their loss. My mom, for example, my dad and Daddy I have a great dad. And yet he's a quiet man that never, kind of always lived on the kind of in the back burner. Mom was my best friend. And it was interesting. I recall now, about a year before she was diagnosed, she started inviting Daddy on our phone calls, and she would put me on speaker, and we would be chatting together. But it's so lovely, the friendship that I've developed with my dad since my mom is gone. And again, it happens for us. I really don't think that would have happened if mom was still alive. Not, at least not to the extent that it has, right?
this I mean, we haven't even gotten to the approval addiction yet, but this is like, we could be doing this whole show on it because the same thing happened in my family. Like we're my two sisters and I and my dad were like the four musketeers, and so many things changed in our lives after my mom passed. And I know that we would not have the relationship with my dad that we do. Oh, I got goosebumps. And
Yeah.
it's the same thing. So powerful. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, our synergies and the parallels in our lives are so incredible, Lisa. There's no mistaking why you and I got connected. So,
Absolutely. Yeah.
so all right,
Yeah.
I want to talk about approval addiction. What is this, and how did you become an expert in this?
Okay. So first of all, when you hear that titled, is that like a lean in moment for you?
Yeah, that's why I was like, oh, this is what we're
I know.
talking about.
I know
Yes.
exactly. That when I first heard this, so I have become a student of an incredible man that I would so recommend. One of my favorite books. I heard once, you are changed by the people that you meet and the books that you read. And one of the first books that I read was a book called 177 Mental Toughness Secrets of the World Class. And it's
Wow.
by a gentleman named Steve Siebold. And he's actually a business partner of mine in my wealth building business as well. But he has interviewed more millionaires and billionaires than anyone on the planet.
Wow.
He is an expert in approval addiction and mental toughness. He's known as the mental
Mm.
guru. Okay, so that's when I first learned of this topic, and it was a total lean in moment for me. I'm like, what is this thing, right? And really, the premise of it, Diane, is simply this:
Yeah.
how many times do you make a decision about anything based on what other people think?
Yeah.
And most of us would say almost always, right? We
Mhm.
all have some level of this addiction. And so the first step is just acknowledging that you have this addiction, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the first step towards recovery of any addiction, right? So that was my first step. And then it was really especially important as I stepped into this entrepreneurial journey. Because as you know, most people in our circle of influence, if you're like me, if you were in corporate a long time like me, so you
Yes.
know that the people that know and love us, that are around us, they, at least in my circle, they kind of thought I went crazy for a while. Why would you leave this very successful corporate, safe, certain environment for the unknown, right? So the first thing is really developing that skill to just know that what you're pursuing is because you are supposed to pursue it. It's like what lights you up. Your gut is telling you something, and you cannot listen to those people in the background. It's not because they don't want you to succeed, by the way. It's because they are afraid for themselves. It's
Yes.
nothing to do with you, actually, right?
100%.
Right. So that was the first, kind of aha moment for me as I realized, boy, I better develop this. I better get over this addiction, or at least be a work in progress towards it. If I really am going to step into my next chapter confidently and with boldness and with, it's scary. It's fearful, and you have to just go past that. You can't give into that fear, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
um and then I want you to consider most of the world and how we build wealth. First of all, most of the world doesn't build wealth,
Right.
period. The end.
So
There's a
true.
reason. I became a student also of the cash flow quadrant. I'm sure you're familiar with that, from Rich Dad
Mhm.
Poor Dad. One
Mhm.
of my mentors is the co-author of that book, Sharon Lecter. And
Yes.
we
I've
had
had
a
Sharon on the
very
show.
Yeah,
Love her.
I got to go spend a day at her house this past spring. And we had such an in-depth conversation about how the need for getting this cash flow quadrant study and principles of entrepreneurship into our schools, oh my gosh, like we could change the trajectory of this nation in 10 years if we could just get more of this information into the minds of our children, right? At an earlier age.
Oh, so true.
But
So
just think
true.
about the concept in general of how most people build wealth. They get a job just like me. They start saving just like me in
Yep.
a deferred compensation plan like a 401k
Yep.
that you haven't paid any of your taxes on, and then we hear about a new idea. When I teach about a new idea to me, but it's an idea that's been around forever. It's how the
Yeah.
wealthy have been building wealth forever, which is called infinite banking. And I became a student of this. And it's so interesting how you learn about something, and then
Yeah.
you talk to your neighbor next door, and you tell them about this exciting new way to build wealth. And their first thought is, oh, well, that sounds too good to be true. And you
Right.
know what most people do? They're like, oh, yeah, that's probably too good to be true. I better
Yes.
just stick with what I know. Right.
Right.
So,
Right.
and I did, and I say I can speak with confidence about this because I did it. I gave in to approval addiction for so many years, and it held me back. And
Yeah.
my prayer is that we can get this information out to others so that they can overcome their own approval addiction. We can help our children. You are passionate about suicide prevention, as am I. I love that you have that nonprofit that you support. Think about how many times our children are traumatized, and they are depressed and sad because of what other people think.
Yes. It's so true. It's so true, Lisa. And we have to be able to have them, like you said, first be aware I have this thing. And then, well, I didn't get to the second thing, but I'm assuming it's educate yourself about
Yep.
it to
Yep.
empower yourself. Right. And so much of the addiction for approval is about money. I mean,
Yep.
it's about image and popularity and at different phases in our life, but a big core part of that is people feeling bad about themselves because of their financial situation. What
100%.
what you're doing is so beautifully woven in and together that I it's so powerful. So what can someone do right now to start recognizing this and doing something about it?
Yeah, great question. Well, first of all, just ask yourself, is my belief in what other people think holding me back?
Mm,
Do I have a dream? There's another great book I just read with my community. I would so recommend. It's called The Dream Giver by Bruce Wilkinson. Are there dreams that have been planted in your heart from long ago that you put on a shelf? You stopped even thinking about it. You know, I I got a text earlier from a girlfriend, and she asked, "Oh, Lisa, have you watched this new Netflix show?" You know, and I, don't get me wrong, I watch TV on occasion. However, how many times do we binge watch a season of whatever,
yeah.
and yet we are watching our children come home and feel sad, and we come home from corporate America and can't wait for the weekend, and there's all these unspoken dreams that are happening. We are examples to our children. I
Yes.
did this for far too many years. I would come home and complain, and that's what my kids were hearing, right?
How old are your kids?
My kids are 22, 19, and 14.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And I'll tell you, that is the first thing is what is the truth that you're living in your life around your dreams? And
Mm,
how are you being an example to your kids when it comes to, are we telling them they can do whatever they want? They can pursue everything that's in their heart's desire, and yet we're not showing them how to do that,
right. Right.
right?
So true.
And secondly, I will tell you from personal experience, get clear, my friends, on what your financial picture is. Sounds very fundamental, but know what's coming in, know what's going out, and if there's a gap, where is my missing money going? Like, what is my, I teach about something called your freedom number. What is your financial independence number? That's the number that once you hit that wealth bucket, you're working because you want to, not because you have to. And
Yes.
and getting educated about how money works, the things that they should be teaching, fundamental basics, our kids in school. For today's savers, I'll give you one nugget. If you are a saver of today and you are in a 401k plan that does not match, there are far better ways to be investing. There's a concept we teach about called the rich man's Roth. In fact, I'll send you a chapter from the book, Diane. You can send it out to your community.
Oh, thank you.
But I tell you, just become a student of, don't just take whatever corporate America gives you, because there's better ways that you can be a good steward of your money.
This is so powerful, Lisa. I'm so glad you're here talking about all of this because it's so true. I'm with you on the, I don't seek approval at all. I really, honestly, I say this with all due respect. I don't care what people think of me. I care deeply about people, but their opinion of me doesn't matter. And you know what I learned from our dear friend Greg Reed, that there's opinion and counsel. And opinion is somebody who hasn't done what you do or want to do. And so they give you their opinion of it. And it's usually coming from people, family, friends, people, and sometimes from people who have no business giving you their opinion. But chiming in on something versus counsel is someone who's doing or has done the thing that you want to do. And they actually have the counsel and the advice for you. So when you said that earlier about the seeking the approval and being addicted to that, you've got to also ask yourself, is this person giving me opinion or are they giving me counsel? Because I'm going to go to Lisa. You all should go to Lisa for the expertise on this. She's studied it. She's mastered it. She's an expert at it. She's done the overcoming of the addiction. So think about that. And when you have the chance to binge watch Netflix, and we don't mean to pick on Netflix, binge watch anything, or scroll on social media aimlessly, or do things that are unproductive. What if you took that little window of time every day, whether it's 15 minutes or an hour, to learn something new, right? Lisa and I didn't learn for so long. If you did that instead and started to educate yourself on, which I'm going to go back and look at the cash flow quadrant. I'm going to dig in, and I want to know from you about infinite banking because I'm a student of life. I want to learn. I want to be better because you and your kids, especially your kids, are watching you and they're modeling you. So powerful.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I want to ask you two more things. And the first one is, this is a question that I ask all my guests. So I hope I'm not blindsiding you with this, but what we do is we collect intention statements from our amazing guests. And so I want to know how you live the I Have Today way, which is intentionally, in the present moment. And if you don't mind, can you start your sentence with, I have today too?
I have today to create an impact on many, many people's lives. And I will give you a statement that I start my day with, which is, I am dreaming dreams so big that when I accomplish them, only God can get the credit.
Woo! Woo, that's so good. Oh my gosh. Oh, Lisa, that's amazing. That's beautiful. Love it. Love it. And then this show went by so quickly, but I want to know from you, is there one final piece of advice that you want to give the audience?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say seek like-minded people like
Mm,
Diane. Surround yourself with a community that wants to pour into you and to lift you up and lock arms with you in forward thinking movement. I'm part of a world that is transforming, especially women's lives and
yeah.
empowering women, and and get, work purposely on getting over that approval addiction. Your life will be much better. Become a student of next chapters, and saying yes to a lot.
Oh, I love that. A student of next chapters. I love that. I love that so much. You do talk about the chapters a lot. And speaking of chapters, team, I want to show Lisa's book. We have our website up here, which is lisawilliamsco.com. But here is her amazing book, and it is called Conversations with an Angel. And we highly encourage you to go get it. We're going to have a link in the show notes for it. I'm getting it. And
It's a great book club book, by the way.
oh,
We've had a lot of fun with book clubs.
fabulous. Oh my God, I love that so much. Yeah. And then, of course, we'll always have a link of it in our Diane store as well, because we have the books that we love and endorse in there for you as well.
Wonderful.
And so is there anything else coming up for you that you want to share with the audience?
Yeah, we are actually about to launch a new course. It's called Kingdom Wealth Creators, and so be watching for that. I'll be sure and share the link with you, Diane, when that comes out. And I would say that's the most important thing right now that's going on. A lot of things coming, but that's the one we're most excited about right now.
Kingdom Wealth Creators. All right. Well, we'll be on the lookout for that. We'll definitely share it with our audience when it's out. And we show the link to you so people can go to your website and subscribe to whatever you have, so they're aware of it too.
Wonderful.
It's
Sounds good.
it's been an honor and a privilege to have you here. And I know we're going to be doing things together. I know we'll connect after, because we're on missions together to really change the lives, especially of women. Not that we love you men too. We do. We also
We
know
love
how
our men.
we do
Absolutely.
love our men. We do love our men. And that I love the way the universe worked and aligned us together. And I remember how we did meet. We connected on LinkedIn
We
somehow,
did.
and
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
did. And it was like instant. I was like, oh, gotta have you on my show for sure. So
Absolutely. And you're going to come on our mastermind too. Oh, I did forget to mention our Wealth Minded Mastermind, which you're all invited to. And Diane's going to be
beautiful.
a guest for us as well. Yeah.
Yes. Well, I'm very excited to inspire, empower, and motivate and educate your audience too, and become a part of that world too. So, well,
Brilliant.
thank you so much for being here today, Lisa.
Thank you,
Have a
Diane.
beautiful today, and
You
I know
too.
I'll talk to you soon. Take
See
care.
you soon. Okay.
Bye. Oh, she's so powerful. I can't wait to get that book. I hope you guys are going to get that book too. All right. So I'm just going to recap a couple little things that she said. I want to make sure that you guys heard this, that approval addiction, what she said is, number one, know that you have this, because we do have it. Oops, hang on a second. Hang on. Let me go back here. Lost my signal. There we go. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Got a phone call. All right. So first thing Lisa said is, know you have this. And next she said, ask this question: is my belief of what others think holding me back? Are you so worried about what other people think that you're afraid to make a decision take a leap of faith. Go after that, your goals, dreams, and desires. And then number 3 is get clear on your financial situation. So important. Getting clear on money, being educated on money is going to change your life. So while we talk a lot about law of attraction and manifestation and specificity, you know, it's all available to all of us. The only difference between people who are successful financially and people who aren't is their knowledge and understanding and education of it, and their specificity about what they want, right? And like Lisa said, that financial freedom number. So you've got to know what it is. You can't hit a target you don't have, right? You don't put in the navigation system more money and expect to get more money. Like you don't say, oh, just send me to California. No, you have to be specific about it. So figure out what that is for you. When you get clear about that, then start moving in action for it. So definitely follow her. So, all right. So I already told you about the TV hostmaker.com live event. I want to remind you of that event. It's November 11th. It is in Los Angeles. And again, the website to find out more, to come behind the scenes with me and be a live studio audience with me for the first time, get on camera exposure, get the behind the scenes of how to produce a show, and then build your show, again, is at tvhostmaker.com/live. So I hope to see you at the event. All right. With our last remaining minutes, I'm going to do our mantra meditation, and I'm going to do it a little quicker today because we only have a few minutes left in the show, but I want to leave you feeling better at the end than you did at the beginning. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to take in 2 deep breaths. We're going to breathe in for the count of 4 and pull it all the way down to your tailbone. And then we're going to count to 8 as we hold it, and think about your chakras, your root, your sacral, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, crown, and then your soul star, which is about a foot or so above you. These are your energy centers. We're way more than this physical being. So send the energy there as I'm counting to 8, because it's very, very healing for your body. And then breathe out for 8 seconds like you're blowing out birthday candles. I want you to blow anything toxic, negative emotions, negative memories, trapped trauma, all that stuff out. And imagine it's like sooty smoke. You know what I mean? On a chimney stack. Like, get it all up and out. It's going to feel so good. We're going to do that 2 times and then just listen to the words. So here we go. You ready? Close your eyes and breathe in for 4. Hold it and count to 8 as you send energy to all your chakras. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And blow it out for 8. Let's do that one more time. You ready? Breathe in for 4. Hold it for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And blow it out for 8. Keep those eyes closed. I have today to love my life. Something really good is going to happen to me today. I can feel it. Miracles, big and small, I notice them all. Yes, 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 thank you. I have today to approve of myself no matter what others think. I now have a clear understanding that I've probably been suffering from approval addiction for most of my life. I have to understand and acknowledge that I have this and where this might be showing up in my life. If I didn't have this, how would I live differently? How would I think differently? How would I act differently? What if I took leaps of faith like Lisa did and Diane did, and went after the goals, dreams, and desires, so that I could be living in the next chapters and take the experience from the previous chapters, no matter what happened, no matter how dull or boring they were, or how sad they were, or how traumatic they were, and understand that all of that has value, but that the next chapters can be more extraordinary, more amazing, beyond my wildest dreams. But I would never know that if I didn't take the leap of faith and pursue them. Being smart, being educated, knowing things that are going to empower my life, make my life better, stronger, richer, abundant in more, all the areas of my life. That's available to me. If I stop playing it small and safe and worry about what others think and step into my true power, what could happen for me? I'm going to start surrounding myself with people who give me counsel, not opinion. People who are experienced, smart, and know, and they're like-minded and supportive. That's my tribe. That's who I want to surround myself with. So on this day and every day forward, that's the way I'm going to live. I'm going to choose to stop being a victim of what other people think. I'm going to let that go and follow and pursue my goals and dreams and desires, because I'm the only one that has them and I'm the only one that can pursue them. I don't have to do it alone. I'll find tribe to help me do it, but I'm going to keep those blinders on, and I'm going to know that there's nothing I can't be, do, or have. And so it is. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I want to thank you so much for being here at I Have Today. Thank you to Lisa Williams, my guest. Be sure to follow me on social media at Diane Forster Official, and then subscribe to this show at I Have Today with Diane Forster on YouTube. I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.